Hi all, I will be explaining basic troubleshooting with Windows 11. But before that, I want to explain a short introduction to what a computer is made up of. Now, in computing language, we do not understand normal English and other languages. Here's what a computer can understand, or any electronic device can understand for that matter: zero and one. Basically, just imagine that a bulb is off. Electricity is off for the bulb, then it is counted as 0, and when electricity is on, it counts as 1. So this was the only electrical language that any device could understand before computers were invented. Now one smart guy started creating bits out of that, like when you wanted to create information segments, right? So one bit could meant to a box which could either be 0 or 1. Now 8 bits were called 1 byte. 8 bits made 1 byte. Okay. So what is 1 byte? Basically, we have 8 slots, and in those slots we can either fill 0 or 1, 0 or 1, and that's how we can create information. So 7 times 0 and 1 would be counted as 1. And then 6 times 0 1, and then 0 at the end would be counted as 2. So this is how we started the numerical code and all. Now after that, we started with the concept of kbs or kilobytes. Kilo means 1000, bytes means byte. So now we could place information in 1000 bytes. Then came mb. 1 mb is equal to 1024 kb. Similarly, we come to GB and TB. So we know all of these terms, but I gave an explanation of what this is. Now, here is what we understand. Basically, every computer, every software, every program, every operating system, everything on the computer is made up of tiny, tiny files. And these files could be a few KB longs, KB big, or a few MB big. I mean, it depends. So, this is one part. Now, why does this matter and what are these files called? In a computer, when we say Windows 10 or Windows 11, we also understand that Windows 11 needs 64 GB of space on the computer for installation. Okay, your computer needs to have at least 64 GB of space to install Windows 11. That is the space that Windows 11 will take on your computer. Now, what does it take this space for? Why does it need space? I mean, Windows 11 is just an operating system. So, Windows 11 is also made up of files, and these files are called DLL files. Don't go much into the technicality, just grab the basics. It's called Dynamic Link Library files, DLL files. So the thing with these DLL files is that a lot of them make up Windows 11. Now I'll show it on my computer. I'll go to this PC and local C drive. That's where Windows is stored, and I'll type DLL here. Okay, it will start showing a lot of DLL files. It will need a while to load, and then you will find thousands, tens of thousands of DLL files on the computer. They're all hidden behind these folders. Okay, so this is the case with DLL files. Now, what happens is that when I mean their setup is quite fragile. Although they have been placed in a separate folder, but there are a lot of third-party applications, viruses, and malware which can impact these DLL files. Okay, so if a few files in the computer which make a Windows 11 are impacted, what would happen? Well, there may be an impact or there may not be an impact. For example, if I was to make a car or a truck and I said a component of that a car or truck was corrupt or missing, would it impact the entire car or truck? Well, it may. It depends on which component it is. So, the situation is similar for our computer. So, whenever we face issues like a blue screen of death error or any other major error which is directly impacting the computer, which is directly referring that there may be a missing or corrupt file, then our first approach is the SFC scan. So it's called System File Checker Scan. Basically, we're checking system files and we're checking them for corruption or whether they're missing. And if possible, they will be replaced. Where would they be replaced from? They will be replaced from the original image of the operating system on the computer. So, search for command prompt in the Windows search bar and click on Run as Administrator. Type the command sfc space forward slash scan now and hit enter. The next one is to run a check disk scan. Now, I'll tell you something. This check disk scan is basically for HDD drives. See what an HDD drive looks like. HDD drive looks like internally, it looks like a disk. It is a disk. It is a magnetic drive. Okay, so it is a disk. It has sectors just like a circle has sectors. So if any of these sectors go bad, will it impact the entire disk? No. So earlier technology, although it was a very slow system and people still use it till date, but people are shifting to the newer version, which is an SSD drive. But I'm explaining about the HDD drive as of now. Now, this had disks, and the purpose was that if any one sector of the circle goes bad, like say this part would be one sector, this part would be another sector. I'm just showing it with the mouse. So in that case, the hard drive will still survive. So you will not lose all of your data, but you may lose some of your data, and it will impact the system. So to fix this, we type a command called check disk. So we'll search for command prompt in the Windows search bar and click on run as administrator. Type the command chkdsk space forward slash r space forward slash f and hit enter. Then press Y and hit enter once again. Now, when I try troubleshooting systems, I type Y, but I do not hit enter, because if I hit enter, then it will initiate the check disk process, and that will need a long, long time. The next one is a DISM scan. You can call it an online version of SFC scan. So I'll explain the main difference between it. They say that this is repairing the image of the system, and this is picking files from the image of the system to replace the missing and corrupt files. Now, DISM scan is a little higher in rating in comparison to the SFC scan, because it will start picking up files from the internet. We usually use a DISM restore health command. There are other ones, but they only check and scan. So we use this command DISM restore health. You can copy it from the internet and then search for command prompt in the Windows search bar. Click on run as administrator, paste it here and hit enter. The next one is the Windows memory diagnostic tool. So these commands were to fix the files or anything which was on the hard drive. Now you know that our computer has a hard drive which is permanent memory. Permanent memory means that even if I switch off my computer, I will not lose data unless the data was unsaved, or I specifically delete that data. I intentionally delete that data. But there is another kind of memory called RAM. So, what is RAM? RAM is called random access memory, and this is the memory that serves as an interface between applications and processes on the system. So this is constantly in use while we are using the system. I'll show you in the task manager. So I'll open the task manager, and then I will go to the processes tab here. You can see this is the memory. It is consistently in use. It will constantly be in use. Okay, while I'm working on the computer. And how much is it being used? So we have this data here. Now, if there is some sort of corruption with the RAM, the Windows Memory Diagnostic tool can help in checking that. So, if for any issues related to the RAM, memory itself means RAM. So, if there's an issue with the RAM, search for Windows Memory Diagnostic and click on it, and then click on Restart Now and check for problems. Don't actually click on it or it will restart your computer. Just hover your mouse here. The next solution is to update drivers. Now, what are drivers exactly? So, we know that there is software and we know that there is hardware. So, how would our computer software understand any entry that we make on the keyboard, or any click that we present on the mouse, or anything that we do with hardware? Okay, so drivers are components that serve as a connection between the software and hardware of the computer. And where do we find the drivers? Search for device manager and open the device manager. You will notice drivers for each and every hardware here. Okay, like the audio one, the batteries one, the Bluetooth one, the cameras. I'll expand cameras and show you. One thing is that you can right click on it and update drivers. You must have learned it by now. The second one is that you can right click on it and select properties, go to the driver tab, and then you can roll it back, update it, uninstall it. Whenever you uninstall a device, okay, you may lose it from this list here, but when you click on action and scan for hardware changes, If that device is physically linked to your computer will detect it and the drivers will be back. This is how we reinstall drivers. The next one is built-in troubleshooters on the computer. So right click on the start button and select settings from the menu. Go to the system tab on the list on the left hand side, and then in the right pane, scroll down and select troubleshoot. Click on other troubleshooters and you'll find a few troubleshooters here for audio, network, printer, Windows Update, background intelligence transfer service, Bluetooth camera, and compatibility, and video playback, and Windows Media Player. These are all the troubleshooters we have. We don't have more than that. Okay. The next one is to reset network. Now, I'll tell you why this is a very critical solution. Whenever we face issues with the network, people suggest run the network troubleshooter, and other websites and channels will give a list of commands like flush the DNS and an IP config release and IP config renew, and then reset WinSock and all. But you know what? If you reset the network, if you simply reset the network, it will reset all components of the network to default. So all of these commands will run at tandem with one simple click of a button. How? Right click on the start button, select settings from the menu. Now go to the network and internet tab on the list on the left hand side. Select advanced settings in the right pane and then click on network reset and then click on reset now and obviously on yes after that. The next one is to use a static DNS. So at times when we are connected to the internet but we are not able to access a lot of websites, at least on a few browsers, then we can use a static DNS on our system. Specifically speaking, Google's DNS. So press the Windows key and the R key together to open the run window. Type the command ncpa.cpl and hit enter. This will open the network connections window. Right click on the active network connection and select properties. And then you can double click on Internet Protocol version 4. Select use the following DNS server address. The first one, the preferred one is 8.8.8.8. The alternate one is 8.8.4.4. And then click on OK. Okay. Then click on OK once again. And now it will all of our data will be routed through Google. So Google is usually never down. And that's why you will be able to access its DNS easily. The last one is understanding the settings app. So in earlier versions of Windows, we didn't actually have the settings app. To access the system settings, you would have to search for control panel and go to the control panel window, and we will be able to access various components here. But see, this is quite technical. A person who understands a computer will be able to manage it from here. It still exists, but the thing is that it is still too complex for a layman. So a new page was introduced called the settings page. Right click on the start button and select settings from the menu. And you will find a lot of tabs here: system, Bluetooth, network and internet, personalization, apps, and all. So I mean, they have so many components that I cannot explain in one go. But here's the thing: you can check through this app and you can use it for changing various settings on the computer. Was this helpful? If yes, then please subscribe